What's going on, everybody? Coach Bucketman is back with another video.
Coach Bucketman! Shadow ban him, get rid of his video, suppress his video.
I'm never going to stop doing videos. So this video today is probably going to piss off the Walmart General fans, the content creators, and Dove Valley, because that's what I do best, is basically taking what they said and shoving it back in their face like I did in my last video. And you know what? This is not a drill, folks. This is not a drill. But anyway, today I'm going to be talking about why Sean Payton doesn't bring culture change to the Denver Broncos. So I'm going to take you guys into my little time machine, and we're going to go back to, 2016, 2017, okay? So this organization has been dog shit for 9 years, and it's going to continue, folks, and I'm going to explain to you guys yet again, because I've done video after video after video explaining to you why this organization sucks and why it's dog shit right now. But let's go into my little time machine, and let's go back to 2016, 2017, when they hired Vance Joseph, the yes man, the leader of men, right? When you guys were pushing that agenda. Just like the agenda you're pushing now that Sean Payton and Bo Nix are bringing culture change here. But the agenda being pushed then was Vance Joseph is a leader of men. He's going to galvanize the troops. How did that turn out over his 2 years here in Denver? It went down the shitter, as predicted by myself, Mile High Bubble, and Denver Broncos Mile High View. Next, you bring in Vic Fangio, who was a really good defensive mind. Defensive mastermind, right? That's what you guys are pushing. I liked Vic Fangio because he was a no bullshit, and if he had the defensive player personnel around him, he would have been good. But the problem was he wasn't a head coach; he was more like a defense coordinator. LA was still running things at the very top, right? He and he still is. He was still running things at the top. And Vic Fangio wasn't able to get the defensive player personnel that he wanted. He wanted guys like DJ Reader. He wanted guys like Roquan Smith. He wanted guys like Zaven Collins in the draft. But nope, that was overridden by, everybody's, he doesn't exist, John Elway, who's still in that organization, still has the biggest office in Dove Valley, and that's been proven time and time again. Here at Bucketman Scouting, at Mile High Bubble, and Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials, no bullshit. You actually had something with Rich Scangarello and Mike Munchak, who ran similar systems, the West Coast Zone Run system. You saw the offense starting to develop when Drew Lock was inserted, and you started seeing player development taking place. You saw the offensive line growing. You saw even the receivers to some degree growing. You saw the tight end group growing. You saw player personnel that actually fit the system. And then what did John Elway do a year later? Oh, yeah, that's right. He brought in Pat Shurmur that fucked up everything, because that's what John Elway likes to do. He likes to fuck up everything, and that's what this organization has done for the past 9 years, is fuck up shit left and right. So they get rid of Fangio, and now we're stuck in this predicament yet again with the Walmart Generals, a.k.a. the Denver Broncos, when this whole Aaron Rodgers agenda was being pushed by the Denver Broncos, LA, Dove Valley, so on and so forth. And you had the agenda pushers say that, a.k.a. Mark Schlereth and Adam Schefter on draft night, saying that, oh my God, Adam Schefter is signing on the dotted line. I was the lone voice out there at Denver Broncos Mile High View where you could go to the video archives, and I said that Aaron Rodgers wasn't going to come here. And he didn't. He would rather go to the New York Jets than come to this dysfunctional franchise. Probably the worst run franchise in the NFL. And it is. Just look at their track record over the past 9 years. And they bring in Nathaniel Hackett. And by the way, Nathaniel Hackett wasn't even the first choice. Dan Quinn was the first choice. That's who George Payton wanted. But who overrid George Payton and who ran that search committee? It was John Elway, and they wanted Nathaniel Hackett. So Nathaniel Hackett is inserted. George Payton is already overridden by the guy who doesn't exist, John Elway, right? And what happens when Aaron Rodgers said no? John Elway and the John Elway-led front office before this ownership even was put into place, they traded everything for one guy in Russell Wilson. Right? The worst trade in sports history, the worst contract given in sports history to Russell Wilson when he had 2 years left on his original contract. You guys gave him a 5-year deal, John Elway and them. And then what happened? Nathaniel Hackett was fired after 1 year because we wanted the players to run the practice. We wanted, and you guys said in another agenda that was being pushed that, Nathaniel Hackett was going to bring offensive plays that we've never seen before. Look how that turned out. So what did they do? They trade a first-round pick for Sean Payton, and they gave him one of the highest-paid contracts to an NFL coach, top 5, I believe, in the NFL. And what happened? You guys said that Sean Payton was going to fix Russell Wilson, right? We heard that all last year. Sean Payton is going to fix Russell Wilson. Sean Payton is going to fix Russell Wilson. Well, you guys killed Russell Wilson just like you did with Trevor Siemian, Paxton Lynch, Chad Kelly, Kyle Sloter, Teddy Bridgewater, Drew Lock, Joe Flacco, Case Keenum, and now Russell Wilson. And there have been plenty of other quarterbacks too that you guys have killed. So you put Russell Wilson in there. You killed Russell Wilson like I predicted, like Mile High Bubble predicted, and like Denver Broncos Mile High View predicted. You killed him. You cut him. The biggest dead cap hit in NFL history, $85 million fucking dollars. Let alone the other contracts that you're still paying, the Jawan James level contracts, the Gregory's, all those other contracts that you have paid over the years. Oh yeah, these great contracts given to fucking Cortland Sutton and Tim Patrick when they didn't do fucking jack fucking shit. Yeah, just overpay for people left and fucking right. And that's the Elway mindset. That's the Elway-led front office. So now we're fast forwarding to this new ownership group that is more concerned about getting better turf, getting a better scoreboard, renaming a practice field, adding on to shit, rather than focusing on the product on the field, focusing on player development, focusing on a proper rebuild. Another thing that's been pushed this offseason is a rebuild. Getting rid of Justin Simmons, who sucks, who's still sitting on his couch. Getting rid of Jerry Jeudy is not a rebuild. A culture change / rebuild is when you have an ownership group, a front office, player personnel department, coaching staff, all the way down to the fucking janitor that are all aligned. That is culture change. One guy is not going to bring you culture change in Sean Payton. He's just not going to. We didn't see the Sean Payton offense last year, and when you did, it was in minute parts. It wasn't consistent. And to talk about Sean Payton, who I think is overrated, he is not even on the level of the Harbaugh brothers. He's not on the level of the Andy Reids, the Bill Belichick's, the Pete Carrolls of the world. He's just not. In my personal opinion, he's not. I think he is an overrated head coach, in my personal opinion. And by the way, and I would have loved Harbaugh, who coached at Michigan, to come here, but there is no way in hell that ownership group was going to get rid of this front office, who's been in here since 2017, guys. Guys, you guys not realize that this front office has been in this organization since 2017? Let that sink in. And I've done video after video after video on this. This front office has been in here since 2017. And by the way, Sean Payton wasn't even the number one choice for this ownership group. It was Harbaugh. They went to Harbaugh twice, and Harbaugh turned them down twice. This ownership group flew to Michigan to talk to Harbaugh. And the reason why Harbaugh didn't come here is because he told the ownership group directly, you need to get rid of this front office. We could bring in people in this front office that can bring in player personnel that fit my offense and defense. And I know Harbaugh because I cover the Nebraska Cornhuskers. I know Harbaugh and what he did at Michigan over the past 8-9 years. And he was a player development type of head coach. And that's what the Denver Broncos needed. But they didn't. And isn't it funny that this is the new ownership group. This is the only new ownership group that I've seen that have stuck with the front office as inept as the Denver Broncos. David Tepper, when he got into the ownership group in Carolina, got rid of his front office. Josh Harris with the Commanders got rid of his. Even Mark Davis with the Raiders got rid of his front office. And you guys can laugh about the Raiders all you want, but the one thing I appreciate about the Raiders right now is they are valuing the offense and defensive lines. You can't say that with the Denver Broncos, but I have these stupid Walmart, low IQ Walmart General fans saying that, oh my God, this is the top 10 rated offensive line according to Pro Football Focus. I don't give a fuck about rankings. I don't give a fuck about ratings. I don't give a fuck about that. I give about what the all 22 film shows that coaches, scouts, and all them use. I don't need Pro Football Focus stats without context bullshit. And again, this organization is so much into hype, into content, rather than shutting off the noise and rolling up their sleeves and focusing on the product on the field. Okay? That's what Pat Bowlen was so fucking good at, man. That was so fucking good at. Okay? More Super Bowl appearances and losing seasons. And ever since Pat Bowlen has left, it's just been nothing but shit. Nothing but fucking shit. And Sean Payton is not going to be another Pat fucking Bowlen. Okay, he's just not. One guy is not going to bring you culture change. Pat Bowlen was a great owner, yes, but he surrounded himself with people that actually understood the game of football the right fucking way. That's the difference. He brought in front office people like Adam Peters, like Brian Stark, so on, and Adam Peters, guys like that were so essential to Super Bowl fucking 50 that you guys refuse to acknowledge because you guys are low IQ type of people that don't do the research. You guys are just like the Republican and Democrat Party. You guys believe what comes off of your TV screen, and that's that. Instead of doing the goddamn research. Doing the factual, real research. But that being said. And then we draft Bo Nix. And then we're hearing out how great Bo Nix is at OTAs. How he, my God, he looks like Drew Brees. He's not Drew Brees. He's not even close to Drew Brees. He is very erratic. I've showed the all-22 film breakdown, and you really think that Bo Nix is going to replicate what he did at Oregon? Are you fucking kidding me? Have you seen the Oregon Ducks over the last decade? Have you seen what they've done? They are a more well-oiled machine than the Denver Broncos are. They have one of the better O-lines in the nation, the better coaching staffs in the nation, recruiting staffs in the nation. The player development staff over there in Oregon is elite. That's why they're going to the Big fucking 10. They're not going to the fucking Big 12. They're going to the Big 10. You're not going to get Bo Nix. And even watching Bo Nix at Oregon, he was still predetermining, and that's one of his issues. He predetermines. He's a one-read quarterback. He bails out of the pocket. He's erratic. He's no Drew fucking Brees. And then we're saying that, oh my God, Sean Payton outsmarted the Vikings in the NFL. Sean Payton wanted J.J. McCarthy all along. They were trying to trade up to number 8 with Atlanta. That is well known around league circles. And the reason why they got Zach Wilson a week prior is because before then, all that time they were trying to trade in the top 3, but they didn't have the draft capital to do it. They didn't. And, at this point in time, you might as just well have a quarterback and receivers because nobody cares about player development, offensive, defensive line development, coverage linebacking, elite linebacking. There's no elite player development anymore in today's NFL. It's a fucking joke. And the Broncos are the pioneers of that shit. Quick fixes, Band-Aid fixes, name, overrated signings, give the money to whoever. Like I said, you had the player that went on Locked On Broncos and basically stated that, yeah, this organization favors players that can't play well, but they'll fucking trade and sit players that do play well. A la Lil Jordan Humphrey, Trinity Benson, Philip Lindsay, so on and so forth. So on and so forth. I mean, this has been a recurring theme for 9 years, and it's going to continue. I mean, this offseason was a perfect example of it. John Elway-led front office bullshit, where you get your receivers, you get your corner, you got your edge rusher, you got your fucking quarter. It's just the same fucking shit over and over and over again. Wash, rinse, repeat is not culture change, folks. This isn't a rebuild, okay? This isn't a culture change at all. Bo Nix is going to a situation where he is going to be killed. Sean Payton didn't want Bo fucking Nix. Give me a break. Give me a fucking break with that shit, folks. Guys need to do your goddamn research. Seriously. So, again, you guys can say that this is culture change all you want. You can clamor for your 7-8 win Jeff Fisher shit. But until this organization actually cleans out this front office, you're going to get the same shit. And another thing, sorry for that, another thing. That whole 5-game winning streak was a mirage. You had to have everything go your way. You had to have the Chiefs turn the ball over, play lackadaisical. You had to have the Bills have 12 men on the field just to get in the field goal range. You had to have the fucking Browns with their fucking third-string quarterback, Thompson Johnson, whatever the fuck his name is, play stupid fucking ball. I mean, that 5-game winning streak, you really think you're going to get that again this year? Seriously? Seriously. You really think you're going to get that again this year? Let alone, I don't have much faith in the NFL. But again, I just don't see the Denver Broncos replicating what they did last year. Especially on that 5-game winning streak. I could see this year being even worse. I could see it. And then I could see them drafting another quarterback next year. If they get in the top 3, they could get Shedeur Sanders. Who knows? Because this organization is that fucking incompetent. I could see Sean Payton saying, deuces, I'm going back to Fox Sports commentary booth. He could say, fuck you to the Broncos. Sean Payton isn't here for fucking player development. He's here for the fucking money. Because the Broncos are stupid enough to pay him that much money. Instead of going after a guy like Harbaugh, listening to him saying, putting common sense in you got to get rid of this front office. You have to have a clean slate. We got to bring in people that were all aligned. Come on, guys. If you think that Sean Payton is culture change, I don't know what planet you're living on. I just don't. I just really don't. So I just wanted to come on here and make a video because that's what Coach Bucketman does to combat this lying agenda bullshit from the Walmart general content creators, Dove Valley STR, that Sean Payton is going to bring culture change. Sean Payton doesn't bring culture change to the Denver Broncos. He just doesn't. Go back when he was with the Saints, when they had Mickey Loomis, Jeff Ireland in that front office and that single ownership. They were pumping out NFC Championship appearances, 13 win. They were consistent. But before then, 7-8 win seasons. And that's what the Walmart Generals are focusing in on, those 7-8 win seasons. So get ready for a long season, folks, because your Sean Payton, savior is not going to pan out. Your Bo Nix savior. If the Broncos drafted J.J. McCarthy, Caleb Williams, Michael Penix, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Spencer Rattler, they would have been the most overhyped quarterback in the NFL. Bo Nix is the most overhyped rookie quarterback in the NFL, and if you would have drafted anybody else, they would have been in the exact same fucking boat. Those are the facts. But because Bo Nix fell and went to the Denver Broncos, he is the most overhyped quarterback in the NFL. They're already making commercials, a documentary about... I mean, that's what the Walmart Generals are into. I don't see the Atlanta Falcons doing that. I don't see the Vikings doing that. I don't see the Patriots doing that. Those organizations aren't putting out documentaries. They're trying to draft and develop players, keeping their head down, doing the hard work. The Broncos aren't into that.